Au ya you will lay a desire. Then I'd wear that power. President Gay, via Yatty, this again. I say, oh, me, I'm right. And by doing you, I'm a part of my trade there. Well, you'll learn it goes away. Alas, I will that you are not. We say you. Papa Mora, get me up when anywhere, Momba Sivole. L'arrangeur parmi national, très trop fort. Puis à club, mais on va essayer de sauver des joueurs. À moi, ça y est. Bien, bien. Tu as bien fait de jouer au bas pour mon yao. Papa, y a une guitare. Petit, l'oiseau fait son nid. Kaidaka. Bena paya posa gogo mambo panjagu Apo blo akafoi Kwa apo sanyo kafoi Pe afonte mwa bandi yopo kleju kiye Nyonjo si mwen Posko kata tuyo kwe atinyo diyo wan Emo o Nese tokan Is a coco, where they have it. Go on, yeah, I can't salute. Post to a cat to your way, I think on your one. Emo, Nesetoka. Now, with is a coco, where they have it. Go on, yeah, can you get? Now, conquering your bed, and your sound, Fabian. Hey, I do. Let's do what you just grab it to one. Say your book on ya. Are you a no? Taibo Bodakia, no, and now we say you over. I want to you come on, need a boy, and yes, I'm going to buy them with Mwege. Hey, Imo, am I gay? One, what I want, I guess me, I'm done, and in the boy. Oh, ow. Bobo that you are not with you. So like it, I'm going to never go. Netoni and Rayo. Hey, are you? Obo Greg just said, oh, yeah, I'm a walking ever. Kaidaka, when it was to work, I'm going to let you know your cafe. I just know. This is what I say. Taibo, yeah. You like do I get more by one name on tele ye by Potamu, Tanyada. Planning Papa, Winnie Gasia, Baka on Lage, the Buesi, the BSC, baby. The 10 years you get up one, there was a ball was a dress, Mambo, Palibo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. Back to a black guy, do it so say. I just want to lay a back to an album, you see you okay. Wait, yo, Ivo, Saibo, Engage the pop and rock where John B. Banglo. On the Kriana walk like a bad day, the noir. So what I So now, when you're naturally thank the Sule. Bobo that Giano and I will say you over. I'm done it. So walk away. And no Russell, Cape Russell. South Africa, under your part, your way. Thank you for your walk there and my one. I'm the Pope and Yaguba. Don't finish it, I say, oh, Clavodio. Say, back in where we are coming. Say, Bobo that Giano and I will say you over. Aba pepo swelu ni nde swelu Kwa muzelu mange dota siko bala Kabo wase Pepo swelu buzo bluke Say yare ase Panye ino Ken mwande ye Nyo pample yote mwande ya nao Ariwo ase o Panye Amo amora da o Saibo de Giano and I will say you I wish a rule of Dio Panye So Saibo, 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 that young man will take you there. Move madame le maire, read on your man, the room. But you know, I say, it's a mayo. That was why you also want to I'm original, I say.
Ouais, il a fait une chanson à Mobile Production, voilà. Et Mobile Production, c'est une structure qui est créée pour les jeunes qui sont dans le guémon, les jeunes de l'US et tout. Mobile Production est là pour produire les jeunes talentueux, cachés, que les gens ignorent. Donc notre devoir, c'est de produire des talents cachés. Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangé Eric Lodé, le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mobile Production, Abia Dia Oboa, Amounia Dron, moi et toi Pierre. Moye, Pierre, moye, Pierre, moye, à toi Pierre qui a volé, Pierre, moye, ah Pierre, oui. Ndato Pierre se prononcer, à toi Pierre qui a volé, à Cossao, moye, Pierre, moye, Mosa Bossa, moye, Pierre qui m'a volé, Mandoyemo, ah Pierre qui m'a volé, Mandoyemo, eh Pierre, bébé, ah qui a volé, Pierre, moye, Pierre, moye, Pierre qui a volé, la poche qui a volé, soy non du niemble, mon blé amado blesse appelé, j'ai mon équipagnon mon wadia équipagnon j'ai blé bonné na kanyopo, si à vous tiens, de kanyoue. Canyon de Koga, c'est pas du bien. Pierre, moye, Pierre, moye, Pierre, moye, Pierre, Oyawesa, moye, Tiblo, no pigeon boba, Yeruno, ma boye, Pierre, Pierre, moye, mon blé production. Oh Pierre, mon blé production. Ase o clano, ya o ya que lo mu lo coje. Piaro moye, piaro moye, piaro moye, Erico na piaro moye, ah Charlico na piaro moye, a to piaro moye. Piero di na payeble, ah nie, Piero, ah Piero, moye, Piero moye, Erico jato Piero moye, mane bomu jato Piero Erico de bomu jato Piero mi amo daka, yo jale ko ye nyobo pa, opa bla ye de nyani ye ble bra kitchen. Yao, anade bro ajabe atia. Nyoro abade ki abudi ye. Ono homono ne ka double ye. Sobo somo soble so danyo. Paseble asenyo na yeta esa ye dibo sanere. E to piero jawe ke. To piero point so weke. To piero yiwa mopa. Kaya no e ka sene la taya mo la osiane. To piero ki agba ide papa ko. Do Piero moye. Ah, tu agba moe. Dive ko agba moe. Ah, you agba moe. Piero we. Ah, Piero you agba moe. Piero we. Ah, Piero moye. Piero moye. Kayo pa de we, nebo kango. Kayo pa de we, nebo kango. Ah, Tideji. Ah, Tideji, ah, Mara Tideji me o, ah o. Upa carita bonita wake, asa o mane. Moye, quero moye, quero moye. momoye ese sonia wutie aseo mama saleye angela wene e bobo pangla wiye angela wene na ma bobo pangla wiye angela we angela jo ma japa ke yo daria jo moye angela momoye ah mama bo kembla ya mama kembla de we you je sais ma cheki, je sais, maman je sais ta neki, Handa Nicola Mebotia, Manda Nicola Gredu Taniaji, Nicola Breto Yamo, Ojuachi, Naipo de Wenge, Lawen on la Chili Agia, Agaro, Moye, Yaro Moye, 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 Moye.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Labrador Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again on this wonderful Monday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. We said we appreciate all of you, but you can still do us a favor. Share this video to as many people as possible this evening. Tell your friends, relatives, whoever you're going to share it to, just let them know the Liberal is on. And we are here again this evening to have a conversation with you, the Liberian people, and about Liberia. It's very important that we come out and have these conversations on a daily basis. I want to thank all of you again this evening. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you. And lastly, we also want to say thanks to the CEO, Mr. Francis Zienso, for continuing to do what he's doing, getting Liberian Public Radio once again to be at the top. We will do our best, and we will support whatever the CEO wants us to do to move this platform to another level. We want to thank you very much. Safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening. We want to say thank you, my Lord. Thank you for everything. Again, my Lord, we come before you this evening to say to you, my Lord, about our brothers and sisters that are unable to find peace tonight. Oh, my Lord, when we see their posts, when we see whatever they've been writing, they are crying out to you. Give them peace. Give them peace. Give them peace, because only through you that the peace will be provided. We will ask you, my Lord. They are in pain daily, nightly. They are in pain. And their pain is causing those of us that know them as well to be in pain as well. And we come to you, my Lord, to pray and ask that peace be provided in your name. My Lord, because of you, we are here. Those of us that know you, we know you have the ability to do so. And so we're not ashamed to come here in this public manner to ask for peace to our brothers and sisters that are in pain. Give them release, bring relief to them. My Lord, again, we come again tonight to ask that the Republic of Liberia and the people of Republic of Liberia be placed in your hands. Guide them, guide them, guide them. My Lord, we come again to ask that the hands of President Waka be blessed. Give him long life to do what it is he needs to do to move this country forward. We ask that you bless his hand. Whatever he touches in the interest of the Liberian people, my Lord, you have the power to bless his hand. We ask whatever door he knocks in the interest of the Liberian people, my Lord, sincerely we ask that the door be open. We want to thank you for that. We want to thank you for that assurance. Your time is the best. We will wait for you, but we ask and will continue to ask to bless us all. Give us long life. We ask that the United States of America, the host country, be blessed as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, again, Samson told Labrador Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to Labrador Public Radio. We are here again to discuss what is affecting our people. Subject matter here tonight will be decentralization. I feel within myself, I have Jerry in the background and I will be bringing him on very shortly. I feel within myself that, and I could be wrong, but that most of our problem perhaps have to do with decentralization. And I will go into that here a little bit tonight because I believe that we can come here and accuse X, Y, and Z of doing this and doing that. We're getting nowhere. And so for me, those who are going to cry about corruption, let them do so. And I hope their voice will be heard as well. But those of us who believe in finding solution, that indeed our brothers and sisters will also listen to us, that we are not just here to criticize, but we are also here to find solution to our problems, not their problems, but our problem as Liberians. We will do our best. We will continue to speak. We will continue to open our big mouths and talk about these things. Decentralization. Decentralization. Decentralization simply means the power is not within a circle, but the power is dispersed. There's one interesting thing about that. And I'll go into that a little bit later on. But one interesting thing about that, because when you decentralize, you allow the citizenry of a country, you allow the population of the country to be fully involved. Forget about the country. It can be the company, but that you allow fair competition. And when you have fair competition, success is guaranteed. Because who wants to fail? Who among us will want to fail? Nobody. None of us want to fail. But because people are not looking at our work, we feel that we are being marginalized. And as a result of that, we feel not and believe not to even try. And as long you have plenty Liberians are not trying, failure is guaranteed. When you have the central position of everybody surround you, you are the only person who make the final decision, which is true. But when you do that, you have sycophants. You have people who will put you in that bubble because they know no power going out. But when you have decentralization, I believe that people in the villages are also, think about this, before long, think about it. Parliament chief in the villages, in the counties, have power. Have power. And when they disperse their power, clan chief have power. Town chief have power. Quarter chief have power. You see where I'm going with this? And so when the parliament chief is to make final decision affecting the community, the clan chief is involved, the town chief is involved, the quarter chief are all involved. And they have the discussion how and where they need to distribute. And yes, there's another thing here that I want people to understand before I bring in Jerry here. The sweet part. Now, don't get me wrong now. Decentralization has its failure as well. And we'll discuss that. We will discuss that. We will discuss that. But let me just say this here. The sweet thing about the decentralization, you allow services which the government is entitled and must, the government is responsible to provide services to the people. But when you decentralize, the distribution part of the services to these people become much more easier and less burden on the leadership. But most of our people back home don't understand it because they feel that when they decentralize, it takes away their power to control. And let me bring Jerry in this on this here very quickly. Jerry, thank you for joining me again tonight. We appreciate it. I'm going on decentralization tonight because I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel that if we allow the decentralization to take root, it alleviate a lot of issue and a lot of burden on the central government. But in their greedy way and their greedy mindset, the central government refuse to allow decentralization to take root. Because they feel, I believe, and I could be wrong, that if they do that, they will be losing power. They will not have the power of control to be able to manipulate the system. Because if you don't have power, people in Grand Union County are making decisions to affect the local people. You in Monrovia cannot control the decision-making process to affect the lives of the local community. You're no longer, they feel if we do that, people will not come to us. They will not be knocking to our doors and what have you. That is the greed among us. Because forgetting to know that when you decentralize, you're hoping that people in these different communities will make form decision that will give you more power because they will believe in you. They will during election, you will not be able to track people from Monrovia to go to Grand Union County to vote for you. Because the decentralization, the community in Grand Union County have in place mechanism that will not allow people to come from Monrovia to just to vote and then go back to Monrovia. Jerry, it's going to be interesting tonight. I hope the spoiler don't come to try to interrupt my conversation here tonight. Let's hear from you, Jerry. Thank you for joining me.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Where are you listening to us? Well, you know what, Boche, there's some contradiction into your opening.
I agree.
But I will rip it apart. But before ripping it apart, today, 45 years, what Liberia achieved, the progressive movement that brought the riots in Liberia, April 14, today is April 14, 45 years ago. I was 19, 20 years old at that time as a young police officer who came to town. They took us from the police academy and brought us to town for the riot that were going on, the arrest riot. I mean, it's like today, 45 years ago. It's just happening today. And they brought us to town. One of our classmates, they called Abraham, he died right on the supermarket used to be in Jalat.
Your internet is not allowing you to be effective in your communication process tonight. I'm not too sure why, but go ahead.
Well, I'm here. I'm fine. I'm back. So here we are. After 45 years, it's about time for Liberian people to look back. What have we achieved with the progressive doctrine? What have we achieved? And at that time, the minister Chinaway, she was the minister of agriculture. I can remember vividly. It was a commercial in Liberia said after 1980, no more Pusawa. And Toba was making it his issue. In fact, I put in our chat room this today. Toba's speech he made after the events where he spoke eloquently. And he spoke, I think he took about 2 minutes. He say in Pele dialect, one of our local dialect, how he felt. But yeah, what I want to make tonight. I hope one of the progressive can come tonight. The progressive.
I'm here.
Okay, fine. Good. Okay, fine. The progressive, they misled us. First, told us that Becker Red was going to call $9, which of course they never delivered when they took over. The coup took over. They never delivered. When they came, they say every Liberian could make $250, which of course they did within the first 2 years. Then they reduced it again. They brought saving bond that every Liberian could contribute 4 months or 3 months of the salary. And it was, people took the saving bond up to this date. Nobody can give the account the saving bond that every civil servant in Liberia will pay the saving. So the progressives, the progressive themselves. Let's do a real assessment of their ideologies and what it is for our country. And let them pinpoint. I can go back to Tubman administration, the two party, and how you call them say open door policy. Tubman open door policy. Tubman open door policy were able to build a port authority in Monrovia. They were able to build the executive mansion. They were able to build a temple of justice. They were able to build, I think, another building that kind of a mind. Toward administration, Century Party, toward administration were able to build a foreign affair. When OU were coming to Liberia, paved the road from all the way to OU village. So during that time, we used to buy or follow 18 gate or no 15 gate through Firestone. Then Thomas said, I think Liberia people would need to go back to history. But anyway, since you brought out decentralization of the thing, let me come to your decentralization. That's my opening statement. So let's talk about your decentralization on that issue.
Thank you.
And I hope.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Decentralization. You see, here's what happened. The two party at that time were afraid because Mary Tamatila, who were one of the more powerful chiefs, Seturi from Nigeria, you know, the simply where you are, very powerful man. The chief at that time were very powerful. The clan chief, the power chief were very powerful. So we talk about decentralization. The decentralization. So the two party thought make it prudent for themselves. They created a position called a district commissioner. The district commissioner now began to control the chiefs rather than because they were elected, the power chief and the clan chief were the elected position. And when they were elected position, they were powerful. And the central government felt at that time, wait a minute, these people are getting powerful. So the best what we can do is to create a position that the district commissioner will be able to control the clan chief and the paramount chief. So for that reason, they create a position. So that now the clan chief, it's an interesting subject you brought. It's an interesting subject. Now the clan chief and the paramount chief, they began subordinate to the district commissioner. The district commissioner, however, for your listening, they are not a elected position. They are appointed by the president. They serve at the will and the pressure of the president. But the clan chief, the town chief, and the district, the clan chief and the pound chief and the quarter chief, they are all elected positions. Here we are. How can a clan chief be subordinate to the appointed to the executive mansion or to the executive? Mr. Edmond Bablo, who's living in Rwanda, he wrote a nice piece about, I didn't forget the title, and he laid it out. He made a strong argument about the district commissioner, how they were disfranchised, and that's what's going on in our country today. The district commissioner now control the clan chief and the paramount chief, so the central government now control. But let me go a little bit further. The central government is a good government. In fact, we got a local government. In fact, the government decentralized already, if you want to be technical or put it to a different perspective. We got a local government and we got a central government. The central government is all over umbrella. Then we got a local government whereby we got a clan chief, the paramount chief, all the people. So we got a how you call it? The attorney, county attorney, district attorney, and these people are also part of the local government. So, I mean, it's something for us to talk about. I just want to lay out tonight and see where we are. These are my arguments. Let's see. So when you talk about the clan chief and the paramount chief, yeah, the clan chief and the paramount chief, they are local government. It just hold on. Let me do my last. I know you can. The person who demands the whole thing is the former president Eddie Johnson Sirleaf today, and now it's not legislatively active. That means There's no legislature to that effect. It was a decree by the president, in fact, after 10 years, after the should have been over. But we used to have the clergy and the parliamentary used to have there were elected position. Now it's been appointed. The city mayor was an elected position. Fine, just bring it back to my memory. The city mayor was an elected position. Now the positions have been appointed by the president. The legislature is sitting on their hands because Ellen Johnson said, the former president said there was no money to conduct the election for the position. So for that reason, yes, now the government has become big. It became a big elephant in the room. So let me pause. Let me take a break and see where we are. We are counterweight. Open for discussion.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Good point. However, with respect to the progressive, I said here last week, and I'm saying it again. You'll give me 1 month, and I will come out here with a bunch of dossier, a bunch of documents that will put people, and then those documents going to be brought on the LPR station here, strictly for historical purposes and to help to bring to light some of the issues that was being raised by the progressive those days. Now, Jerry, you say here quite correctly that those days the parliament chief and the clan chief and the town chief and the quarter chief, they were all powerful, agreed, and that they decided, the central government, two-way party decided that these people were getting more powerful, and that sooner or later they will be recognized by the word of the democratic world will recognize these people as being elected, and therefore they have power. And so, in order to curtail their power, they decided to bring in the district commissioners. In Grand County, they have district commissioner. I believe the first person was Monka. Then the second person that I know of, when my eye opened, the only district commissioner that I saw was Benson. I was little, very little. He was a short man, big stomach with hat, big stomach with big hat, the hat I can be wearing here. And because of that, when he comes to Toll Town, goat will be slaughtered. And from there, because of the goat being slaughtered, I said that when I grow up, I want to be a district commissioner. And it's always been my position to be a district commissioner. But look, Jerry, decentralization, because of the failure of two-way party, the progressive were preaching decentralization. And in fact, to set an example, Tipote had a farm in the interior where he made of I think was big rice farm and what have you, but it was
But you know,
supporting,
Losico in Maryland County, I believe.
it was supporting the community, and community members were involved in making that farm. The progressive on Bacchus Matthew were arguing. Bacchus Matthew, uh, Oscar Quia, the full soldier of those guys, the like of what's it, Deacon Collar and the rest of the folks were preaching. We cannot and we must not allow Monrovia to be in charge of all of the counties and the territories. Because if we do that, we will not be able to succeed in bringing true development in the counties. So Tubman those days, according to the story, had this had this community engagement process where he will go from county to county to celebrate his current day because I call gold night and I come bring gold soup business here again. I think you know what, I will make a go business. I will not eat go against that. But anyway, so President Tubman had this stuff where he would go and celebrate birthday in from county to county in a way to bring in development in the county. So when his birthday is coming to a county, the county will galvanize, and they will, and the Ntuli party was give them some money to build. Uh, how to call it, city or
Administration building.
city,
Admin-
yeah, yeah,
Administration building.
administrative building where the president will come in and then live and what have you. So that was his way of developing. Well, as time moved forward, because of the failure to provide decentralization process, because if you were to decentralize, you will understand that you will not only have CWA in Monrovia, but you will have CWA 2 in Grand Gillette County. You will have CWA 3 in Grand Gillette County. Because when you decentralize, you will invite the people in the local community to pretty much create their own type of living condition that will be better for them, based on the local community culture and based on the local community understanding of living. I grew up in Zwedru. There's a guy that can always watch her hair. They call him Rule. I say Rule. I say Rule. Father Omensari Rule had a house, beautiful place, but he's beneath the AG mission. So behind there, we were living behind them, and their house and their place were very nice. Grass all the way mown. I mean, beautiful place. But we were on the other side. But when you go between us and then you go up the hill, you get to the AG mission. They got plum tree. Their grass is nice. Beautiful place. You dare not go there to say you want to linger and stuff like that. No law that will say they're going to grab you and put you in jail. But when you get to that place, you see how beautiful that place is. You yourself would not want to dirty the place. Why is it? Because of no decentralization process. On the other side of Zwedru, what they have 80 day. 80 day, we are the giant. What kind of giant can be eater? That is a song we used to sing from them. But they have 80 day. No grass in their camper. So dirt. When you go on the other side towards Sino, going towards Sino, they had a Catholic mission. Beautiful building. Beautiful church. On the other side, I attended the Catholic mission. On the other side of the Catholic mission, they got palm tree everywhere. However, those were decisions that was being made by property owner. So the idea of decentralization, if you were to allow the community to bring in the process of trying to govern themselves in a way, quasi-government process, whatever it is, the power is still going to be in Monrovia. And the progressive those days were arguing that if you decentralize, you're not going to lose power. In fact, you will gain more power. But the power you're going to get will be genuine, because it will be coming from the people themselves who wants you to govern them. Not you in Monrovia imposing your will on them. They will tell you how to govern them. And your governing process will be genuine. That was the message of the young people those days. But the power, in fact, resisted. Tui party resisted. And you have the coup, of course. In 1979, the Rex riot that came about, and you're quite aware of it, it wasn't something that was done in months and months of planning. In fact, that Saturday, the intent was to cancel the demonstration, but the word had gone out. The night before, Tipote, Dr. Famula, and the rest of them were not in favor of it. They argued with Baka Matthew. If this thing go out of hand, do you have control? Do you have means to get people in the hospital? Do you have all of those logistics? You don't. And if the government decided we're not going to provide those, how are you going to take people to the hospital when people's children start getting hurt? And Bacchus Mafia and his people realized that, yes, indeed, these people were right. They wanted to cancel. I was at the place that morning when Deacon Carter took the bullhorn and tried to tell us that the demonstration most likely is not going to happen today. But by that time, the folk from across the bridge were climbing the hill. People from Fiamma was coming. There was no way. However, they had control until that light-skinned police officer, I don't know his name to this day, but he had an afro. Okay. Okay. So he came and decided that the demonstrators to be, because at that time there was no demonstration yet, that the people sympathizer, pop sympathizer, should get off the sidewalk of the Republic of Liberia, go into the pie compound and stay there. By that time, you have almost 200-300 people. And pie compound, as an engineer now looking back at it, it's no more like the 25 by 35 feet.
Yeah, Ronald Street, and the Getty Street.
Between Ronald Street and Getty Street, right by PUA. You know what I mean when I say PUA. You're not small, boy. You know what I mean when I say PUA. If I to call PUA right now, if I were to define PUA right now, the whole show will be scattered. I'm not going to do that.
You go around.
But right there, right behind Sony Wayne, right there. When they push the people in, people start getting out, and they decided we're going to go out. Because why? They didn't want decentralization. The coup came. Many of the people in the coup, the intent of that coup, if I may say so again tonight, was not necessarily, at first, was not to overthrow, but to defend the lives of Bacchus Matthew, Dr. Boles, and the rest of the folks that were in jail. Because it was a rumor that folks, they bring in special army group from Suffering to come and take care of them. And the folks in the barrack were going to put out the fight. And it was going to be bloody among the indigenous themselves. When they decided that the group was not coming anymore by that time, the planner themselves had different ideas. But we'll talk about that when I have my document in hand. So, look, Jerry, the point here, let's get back to decentralization. Let me read something to you very quick.
I just wanted to let in the people today because what I happened 45 years ago, and this is why we are today. Because after the Red Riot, consequently, we have the coup. After the coup, within less than 10 years later, we had a civil war. So these are the trends that brought us to where we are today.
But Jared, the civil wars were predicted by many of the old folks.
Yeah. So
the Civil War were predicted by many of the old folks. You cannot kill 13 members of your society. They have family, they got wives, they got children, and you expect to go unpunished? That was impossible. So some of us knew what was coming. It was, we might be young at the time, but we knew. But anyhow, let me read something to you about decentralization. Okay, we'll get to the next. Let me get my document on hands here on this platform.
Thank you. Okay, let's focus on your decentralization, centralized and decentralization. Let's discuss it.
It says here
the good and the bad and the ugly.
Decentralization is fundamentally about redistributing control from centralized authority to individual, effectively putting power back into the hands of the people. When you put power into the hand of the people, they will utilize that effectively. You have it already. But it's one man, one vote. But if you have power in the hands of the people, where they will be able to pick their local government process, their local governmenting process. When you have that, you will know that when they elect people, will truly be representing them. There was a process right there in Town. If you want to be parliament chief, you stay in line. And everybody they're not secret. They're not secret about it. People who want you will stand on your line. You got an opposition and you here. Everybody that want you to be parliament chief, they stand behind you on your line and they count head. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're head more than the people, your opposition, you win. This is what we call open democracy. So there's no way you can come out and say this person was cheating. You, the opposition or whatever, you have your representative going alone to count the vote right there and there. They count here. 1, 2, in public. In public. People will stand in the sun with umbrella behind you. They're not casting secret ballot. They come before openly that I support you and they stand behind you. And they will stand with you. So when you have that kind of power, people trust in you. And these are the same people that will come to you to advise you. That will stood in the rain, in the sun for you. Where are we going with this? But when you have these kinds of civil life, black ballot, whatever it is, even those that were elected, they don't even believe that you voted for them anyway. This is where we're going. And I will be on the decentralization process again tomorrow. I'll go deeper than that. But I'm just saying to you, just to open this, it's going to be a whole week conversation, decentralization. Because for me, if we're successful to decentralize, you open up the economy to the local government. You open up the economy. And those who are able to make money, those who are able to control the economy, those who are able to bring goods in will do so freely. And it's not just coming from Monrovia. But what do we have right now? We have superintendent imposed on the people by the central government. Even if they don't want that person, they will make that person superintendent. And there's no way, if that superintendent have good friends at the central government, that person not moving. Even if you say we don't want him, you got nothing to say. Decentralization. If you have a decentralization, let me bring in Moses quickly. If you have a decentralization like we have right now, the only good thing we have is one man, one vote. But because there's no system in the local government to guide against fraud, we have nothing to guide against fraud. Time for election, people can truck in people to go vote, and there's nothing you can do. You have no system in place. Because of centralized government, centralized process we have in Liberia. We have the justice system. They're pretty much the chief in town. They go and send judges from county to county. And those judges are supposed to make final decision or make decision. If you don't like it, you go to Supreme Court. But because there's no system in terms of decentralization, you have nothing to hold you together. Nothing. The only thing we have in Liberia holding us together as a glue is the culture. It's the culture. And that culture failed us before we saw what happened. If you have, before I go on to Moses, if you have a decentralized process, your developmental agenda as a central government will be easy to implement. The process of going out to the local government to provide services will be easy to implement. Because those who are going to be elected or those who are going to be called by their people to be their leader, if they fail, they can remove them right there locally. They don't have to wait for central government. But if you put somebody in there who is there to please you, whether that person is delivering the services to the people, it doesn't matter, because you, the central government, put that person in there, and the person is there for because to benefit you. The person is not there. He doesn't have to do anything for the people. Let me bring in Mose. Mose, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I'm talking about decentralization tonight, and it's going to be the topic
Yeah.
for the whole week. So let's hear from you. I'm not too sure if you were listening, but if not, give us your own whatever it is you want to talk about.
No, thank you. Good evening, and hope all is well. Good evening, with people out there who listening audience. Thanks for coming on again. Yes, I was listening while doing something, and I think this is a very important topic. And this topic remind me of our conversation the other day on this very show when we talk about sanitation in Monrovia. Remember that? When we talk about the sanitation problem? And it brings me back to that topic. I can tell you, as a low man, and in retrospect, really looking back now, I couldn't understand the issue of the government. Because what happened is that as a little man growing up in Pussy Quarter, I knew that there was a date called Election Day and nobody went to work. But I didn't see no one going out to vote. And around that same time, we lost the chief of the Loma people in Buza Quarter. It was Chief Famba Lazuli. When he passed away, they needed somebody to succeed him. So what they did is they had a date set for election. And just as you were explaining, Mr. Toe, is that they went on the Anthony Totma Stadium. Everybody from Buza Quarter were in the Anthony Totma Stadium, and they had one guy they called Kasia Colley on one side, and they had, it wasn't Sifani, it was another lady on the other side. They both of them ran against each other. And the crowd went to Kasia Colley. And that's how they counted the vote. And he had a majority because they had more crowd from where they were watching. And the crowd just picked him up and took him back to Buza Quarter. And he became the Loma chief. And so that was the mentor. Like you said, the people will remove you from office. And I think the decentralization, you're right when you said that it would, decentralization breathe development. Look at the position of mayors and superintendents. They work at the pleasure of the president, of the central government. They don't work for the people. Now, if you decide to decentralize and let the people vote these people into office, create their own budget, and find ways to raise funds through natural resources or taxation, then the people can hold them accountable and they'll be able to develop those areas. And so your assertions that, decentralization breed development, I 100% agree with. And I think that's where we need to find ourselves going. If we don't put ourselves in those positions, it'll be very difficult because the president cannot police everywhere and everybody that he appoints to the position. And I think that's one of the reasons, Torba decided he was going to have a multi-party system. He came up with that he was going to have a multi-party system. And in fact, he was planning not to run in 1982 because the election was scheduled for 1982. And he said he wasn't running. And I think Edward B. N. Cassidy was one of the first person to register a party, to organize a party in Monrovia. But I stand corrected. So thanks for the conversation. I think this is a good one. It's an education process for us, given what's going on in Nimba County at this point.
Yamida.
So let's hear from you, Jerry. Thank you.
But you see, here's the thing: the decentralization is already in place because we got a local government. The local government is responsible for the rural area. It's just a matter of execution. If it's executed well, you can get all the blueprint, you can get all these things. Like my Tyson said, you can get all the plan, or you can do all the training. But when they point you on the job, all your training, go through, go through the window. But look, we have local government. The responsibility of the local government is the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Ministry of Local Government. She or he is responsible for the rural area, and they report directly to him or to her. So all we have to do is to modify it and see how functionable it can be for our county and district and other sub-political division. Okay. Take for example, like we started from the beginning. How come, sir? Well, take for example, the clan chief. They are responsible for the people in the rural area. Like I said before, it was not the elected position until Madam Sali came and changed the trajectory of the chief being elected. So the mayor was never appointed position until Madam Sali came. If you can go back before 1980, I think I need both or three. I come in. Hold on, I'm making reference.
Mm-hmm.
If you can recall, right, the same Buse quarter within the central or already playing in Basa teenage or Basa
That's
Basa community. All right. Chuchu Hutton versus Amos Sawyer.
The broom. The broom.
Thank you.
The real broom.
See? Thank you. Amos Sawyer versus Chuchu Hutton. It was one of the pronounced election that were going to be held in Liberia in the 21st century because
they both stopped to it, though.
No, it could happen. So that was stopped it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But it could stop it. But Jerry, it was.
Are you with us, Jerry?
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead. We're listening. Go
ahead. So these things have been happening. It's just that we are mismanaging our.
So Jerry, let me push back very quickly, and then Moses can come.
We are not managing our local government.
Let me push back.
Let me tell them. We got county attorney. The county attorney is responsible. That's a local government. It's not a central government. We got a district attorney. He's for the district. So these are people are there. It's just the way they function or the way being executed. That's all.
Thank you, Jerry. Let me push back very strongly. With that kinds of mindset you get, I think they need to call you right now to work for them because you are very much in play the way things are in Liberia. I think you will be suited, completely suited to sit in this government who do not believe in decentralization. You call what we got now, you call that decentralization. The internal government, the internal revenue, the internal internal ministry. Jerry, you tell your own, let me tell my own. Let me finish. Tonight that bamboo with Diva Cola, that one there's no two-way street about it. The internal ministry we have right now. They put your hand, they drag somebody from Monroe and put them in county seat in some of the counties. The person don't even have a house in the county. And you call that decentralization? I don't call it. Let me tell you something. I went home to go bury my brother / cousin about a year or so ago. So I went to the compound, the chief compound. And I saw the building itself is a beautiful building. But because when it rained, the water comes from the zinc and they don't have no gutter system, whatever. So they have these huge ditches all over. When the ditch come out like this in the street, in the main road. So when you're driving, you got to go on the side and go on the side. So I asked, I said, why you can't ask people to help you rebuild this thing? You know what he told me? He said, every time you ask anybody before they take color, they want government to pay them nowadays. That is decentralization. Jerry, here's what you're missing here. Let me just put it in and I'll bring in Moses. Here's what you're missing here. because of what we have now. Liberians have no interest in their own country. Everyone wants out of that place because they have no investor interest. People come to govern in the local community that have nothing in there, no root. They just brought them from Monrovia, put them in there. That's not the kind of decentralization I'm talking about. That's not the kind of decentralization that I'm talking about. Someone who is of local products that understand the local interest. The interest in Grand Union County is not the same interest in Monrovia. Far from it. Far from it. Right now, I'm on a project for the Grand Union Association in America. They have asked for us to come up with something they want to build, park, and what have you. And they can't even find. Here's the thing here. Grand Union County has earth-moving machine that they bought with the county development fund. 2 years ago, they took the machine and loaned it out to a company in Sino County. The machine never came back. They don't know what happened to the machine. And we're talking, you call that decentralization? And the superintendent at the time.
They call interstate commerce. That's an interstate commerce.
Oh, okay. Now one day I level you know, you got drafted. You get drafted. You call that the pure took the machine and go bring it out and pull a few pure. They say intercommerce. You see, that's why we have this. I pray that Honorable Waka will call you. You're suited right there with that. And when they call you, I'll be here talking about you. I'll be here. Let me get the thing to Moses before the bamboo stop divine cola. Moses, let's hear from you. Well, the other man making it, the cola that was one of the device, he even bigger. He said, a small cola now. I don't want to bring it too much. Let's hear from you, Moses.
Let me see the cola you got.
Go
Now, let me give some reference, Jerry, and when we're talking about decentralization, we're not talking. One of the first places I worked, right before I graduated high school and right after high school, was at the Ministry of Local Government, where Husker Quia and those guys were employed at Daniel City. He was Assistant Minister for Fiscal Affairs, and that's when they had the PRC government appointed county superintendent. And one of the person that I really admired of all the county was Hezekiah Bowen.
When he went to when he's saying to Cape Mount.
To Cape Mount. This guy, I mean, listen, this man literally worked for the people of Cape Mount. Like he was from Cape Mount. And people were saying, why you took somebody else from a different tribe and sent it to Cape Mount? They may not even man. But it didn't matter to him. He was committed to bringing out development. Now, when we talk about decentralization, bro, that thing you're talking about in Basa community there, it was nothing. It was something simple. And what does that? What happened to it? They stop it all. All those things were stopped later on. The local government, the internal affairs cannot run the affairs of those counties. They couldn't run the affairs of those counties. The government should have all their limitations. Now, one of the things that I think when we talk about decentralization, take for instance Nimba County, Yekepa. How long has folks been in Yekepa exploiting iron ore from there? How long? None of it has developed that county. Now, if the people had elected their superintendent, other than the superintendent being appointed, and that superintendent sits at the table in the interest of the people and negotiate contract of people coming in, yes, those companies or those entities should have a special relationship with the state government, which is the country government, the administration, and they should have a relationship with the county superintendent. So now, that's what we're talking about. We talk about decentralization. Whatever you do there need to benefit the citizens. And who is supposed to negotiate for them best? It's the person who's elected to represent them. As Brother Toe said, if you don't work for them, their interests, you're out. You're out. They're not going to do that. That's the kind of decentralization we're talking about. Not the government creating a little budget. What are those? You see, when Torba got, I will keep giving reference to Torba because that's when I was old enough to understand government work, and based on my education now and my experiences, he decided to do the counter development. Everyone working for the Liberian government that had a counter had to put money in certain account in their counter development, and it was tax-free, and you had to contribute to that because government was the sole employer of people at the time. So what he did is he said, if you're from Lofa County, Nimaka, you gotta pay into that, even if you live in Monrovia. And that was giving back. That was being responsible, giving the power back to the people. And what happened to that? It got squandered. The first thing is, you know who brought up a big issue about that? The first assistant minister for the Ministry of Finance, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, under Stephen Tolbert. She went public and started to challenge the government about that county development fund that Tolbert had initiated. You see, so when we're talking about decentralization, we want to give people some independence, not sit back and wait because you're working on the pleasure of the president and you're waiting for the president to give you directives before you can move. And what the president is going to do, only when he comes to visit the county, then you're important, you are significant. That county is only of significance when the president is coming to the county to visit. Something happened to the county. Other than that, there's nothing. So we need some independence. We need the people to elect their mayors, their superintendent, so that these people can work for these people, for the citizens and for their constituents.
Thank you. Before I come to you, Jerry, let me give you another example again. Back in the days when I was growing up in Town, they have a parliament chief. The same system that I talk about, where people line up behind the people who to be like the one, they line up behind that person. So not only the president coming to grant you, but the parliament chief were assigned the clan chief, the villages that are on the roads, that are by the roadside. Those villages are responsible to have the road to be clean. So what did they do? We started from Biaya Tawe. They start from Babli. So Babli people take both sides of the road. They start brushing both sides of the road. They will tell them how far to go. No tree hanging over the road like this. They brush everything. Then they bring it to Biai. Then the Biai people take it and take it all the way to Bogota boundary. Then the Bogota people take it all the way to Totan boundary. Totan people take it and they go on to the villages. As a result, those roads were clean those days. The only thing you see in the summertime is dust. But right now, go and travel to the sea highway. The tree hawking each other. When it rains, most of the reason why you have mud and stuff, because most of the car driving and the wheel tire will go deeper. The people are not even taking shovel to open those small gutter so the water can get off the street, unless government pay there. Because why? They have no trust in the central government. If they collect taxes, the taxes are not coming back to them. These people are not stupid. But if you have local representative, they know you fool around, okay, in 1 year, we're not electing you. You are compared to help to develop the area because you want your position, number one. And secondly, as a local leader, You come from among the ranks. You know the issue that are affecting that local community. Jerry, before we come to you, let me welcome Terry. Rescue 2, Rescue 2, Rescue 2. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate Rescue 2. Let me bring in Jerry. Terry will come to you. Let me bring in Jerry. Jerry, let's hear from you.
You know,
Jerry,
that's a contract.
I have 1 minute. Can I have 1 minute or less to make a reference to something you said earlier? It just clicked me, please. You mentioned something. Well, you mentioned something about county attorneys. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know that county attorneys were only appointed by the higher up, by the president, without consultation of the Ministry of Justice? And that the county attorney, when I was growing up, did not even know how to read and write, did not even know the laws. I don't know how they would prosecute. It was not until Tewan Gonglo became president of the Bar Association that they created the rule.
Let me hold you right
No,
there.
no, wait a minute.
Hold on. I'm coming to warn you. Let me give you a warning. But hold on, Moses, let me give you a warning. The beautiful conversation we're having right now. The beautiful conversation we're having right now. They not send somebody who idea is going to be a little bit different from us. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Let me bring in Dr. Mali, please.
Okay, hold on. Okay, wow. Yeah, the county attorneys, it was not until Tewan took over the Bar Association when they went in and passed the rule that a county attorney had to be a graduate of the law school to become county in the counties.
Thank you, Moses.
But that never happened till then.
Thank you, Moses. So, let's hear from you. Jerry. Then we can bring in.
Well, Mr. Boche, you just contradicted yourself by saying the clan chief. That's how it was done. The local government was functioning. It's just an implementation, the execution. That's all that you just alluded to. Because from Tabata to B, the pressure roll. And who were managing it? It was the local government that was in charge of it. From Tabata to Glantown, from Glantown to B, and that's how it will work. We need to go to school. And it was a responsibility of the local government to make sure this thing function.
Elected local government, is it not? Elected parliament chief, was it not?
But that's my point.
You don't have that anymore. You don't have that anymore.
But, well, that's the responsibility. That's the point of the government. That election have consequence. That's the whole thing.
Uncle Joe, if you can hear me, please call Jerry. Please get Jerry into your government as soon as possible. Go ahead, Jerry.
Election have consequence. That's what the election is all. That's what democracy is all about. If you want to change the law, you go to the ballot box and change the law and say, listen, decentralize the government, and these are the issues with. But look, the central government, the central government, how work effectively. And mostly talk about Nima County. Yeah, what happened to Nima County? Do you know the mental state gave the Nima caucus or the Nima County the share between Nima County, Bon County, and Grand Bassa County? In fact, Nima County gets $6 million because they are the model of where it is centralized, where the I think what is the mental state is where they are.
But that's not what they're taking. Come on.
Yeah, where they're taking it because they pay royalty because they're passing through or better planning. Bon County and then in Grand Bassa. And Grand Bassa, Bon County get $3 million. I think Grand Bassa Bon County get $3 million, and Grand Bassa County get I think about $2 million some more dollars. I'm not sure, but the figure is in that $2 million some more dollars. These are the local government projects. But the question there is, you people are missing it. The local government is it effective? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. We talk about decentralization. The point we hear is the decentralizing the government. That's fine.
Who's negotiating for those funds?
Moses, let Jerry talk. Let us talk.
All right.
Cross.
So that's a decentralization. So The decentralization and the functionality are two different things. And here's my point I was talking about, interstate commerce. Nima County, Bon County, and Grand Bassa County, they do interstate commerce. That's what it is.
Thank you. All right, let's welcome.
Part of the local government. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jared. Let's welcome Rescue 2. Rescue 2, Rescue 2. Rescue 5 is calling you. Rescue 5 is calling Rescue 2. Rescue 2, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What do you have?
Walkie-talkie.
Yeah. Man,
Roger that.
Yo, Roger that. I tell you, small boy again. You're not small. You Roger that. That means you're not small again. You there. You up there. These people follow you. They used to what? They had the walkie-talkie, and it was so powerful to those days. The sea they carried the walkie-talkie. That was it. But let's hear from you, Terry. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, good evening to the panel, man. Sorry for lateness. Yeah, Labor, I think you have a very good point on the decentralization aspect. But Mr. Bacon tried to put a spin on this stuff, and I don't know. But whether if we are really running a central focused government, we're running a central, all the authority of our government is focusing in one direction. And the danger of this is the lack of information being adequately disseminated to the people. That's one. Number two, the inability for the people, natural resources to reach to them properly. Mm-hmm. Number three, the inability for the people to directly be involved into the activities of the government. You know, and we see the lack of that in our governing structure. Mm-hmm. You see, and because of this, that's why even most of our people don't even vote. Most of the people in the country don't vote because they don't, and you have a lot of invalid votes even during the time of elections, because not many people are well informed as to the functionalities of government in the interior. Because your government is not decentralized, it's just on people. Local government, blah, blah, all the kind of thing. But now the decentralization process supposed to allow local government officials to be elected, not to be appointed by the president. They're supposed to get elected. And when they get elected, laws supposed to be created, thereby to give them the power and the ability to control their natural resources that within the perimeters of the county. They're supposed to decide what they're supposed to give to central government. Mm-hmm. So, but with the lack of that, this is why we have a lot of corruption. Another thing that happens in a decentralized government is the accountability.
Terry, let me hold you right here. Why are you breaking we got tomorrow's show. Why are you going all the way tomorrow now? Go ahead. I enjoy you already. Go ahead.
So yeah, the decentralization also bring in accountability and transparency, wherein the people will be able to hold those who they have elected within the local government accountable in regards to how funds are disseminated or dispensed. But now the people in the local counties cannot hold central government in Monrovia accountable to that extent because they are short. So it's very important for all to pay attention to that. Thank you, people.
Thank you. I'm just going to add, if your community you upset with the central government, you gotta be upset for 6 years. You gotta wait for 6 years before you show your upsetness. But whereas your local government, they will feel the wrath immediately. Let me bring in Dr. Malley. Dr. Malley, we know who sent you, but I hope that you will do us a favor here tonight, that we will be very much online by praising this president and singing for the president. Can you do that for us tonight?
Well, I don't think before
good night. You can sing the president. Let's hear from you, Doc. Let's hear from you, Doc. Let's hear from you, please. Go ahead.
Well, I'm kind of a surprise tonight to see that at this point in time, under the most wisest president,
Here we go. Here we go.
we are talking about decentralization. We've been on decentralization for so many years. How far has it carried any of the counties? It has even added more and more to what I call systemic corruption in our country. We're supposed to be talking about how do we manage our goal still going, our diamonds still going, our iron ore still going, our timbers are still going, because they're passing through Bassa County, they get them peanuts and everybody happy. Really? That's what you'll be talking about here tonight? It's a sad day. Tonight platform is a sad day, especially for a government in power. We're talking about rescue, that means new ideas. Go and see the bucket of iron ore truck that live in our country. Go and see it. Tears will come from one bucket can even give the people their loyalty. All right? Every day, the people carry more than 50, 60 buckets. And we say now a club because they get 10,000, they get 15,000. We can't be talking about that now. We need to put moratorium on those things now and review these things. Either we go in a direction of company coming to process some of these things and our people benefit immensely, rather than talking about loyalty and decentralization. These are tribal and cultural politics. We passed that stage. And His Excellency is supposed to pass that stage by now. Let alone his loyalists. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Moses, let me come back to you. But before that, you heard Dr. Malik saying his argument is these conversations should not be happening because we passed a stage already. But I want to remind a good doctor that if we were to be successful in making sure we have decentralization, the people in how do you call it, Nima County, those that are being affected locally, will make the determination as to how much royalty, whatever you want to call it, that's supposed to be coming to them from this company that taking iron ore from their place, and whatever the environmental damages that is happening there, it's not affecting people in Grand Gila County, but the people in Grand Gila County are benefiting from Nima County because when the money go, hopefully now, I say hopefully because we're not too sure, that if the central government will take the money from Nima County and try to share it equally among all citizens of the Republic of Liberia. However, Nima County and its people environmentally will suffer the most. And so if you have decentralization process, I believe that the people in Nima County will assess the environmental damage among themselves in their community. And based on that, they will come out, and Nima people are very smart, they will come out with a formula that will be able to not necessarily stop the environmental damage, but at least minimize it. And at the same time, get the maximum profit from them that will ensure that if anybody gets sick from any of the environmental damage that come into their place, that these people will have the ability to go to the hospital that will be built from the local government process of building the hospital to make sure that people who get sick will benefit from whatever they're going to get from mental steel. But the centralized government have to, now they get the money from Nima County. People in Grand Gila County saying that, hey, also we need some too. People from how do you call it, way over there in Cape Ma, well, we want some too. We're sharing in the tears of Nima people. We're sharing in the suffering of Nima people. Because we all believe that the mountain is in Nima County, but it belongs to all of us. And therefore, we need a giant share of that. Decentralization will even things up. Let me come to you, Moses. Please talk to me.
Well, thank you, and Mr. Mallet, I share your sentiment about how this has been going on for a long, long time, for ages. And most of our leaders come in there and they don't have no clue how to look at these things. What you have to understand also, you need a centralization and decentralization. Both work together, but there has to be a balance in that. You need a government that runs the country. And when you decentralize, you need those other people. Because I can tell you what, there are folks, as we've given many examples, when I was a little boy in Luffa County, there were people, German people in Luffa County, at the Pademan Mountain, and taking things from there in the 60s. In the 60s. And Vonjima City never had a paved road. And I think the Liberal even talked about it earlier in Grange. Some of these roads conditions, how deplorable they are. Back in the day, I remember rainy season, we still had the same kind of rain, but we could drive in the rain to go from Monrovia to Vonjima in the 60s. Lately, we can't do it. You see, so those are things that are interest when we talk about decentralization. Those are some of the things that need to be addressed by the local people, but they have to be empowered to do that. And when we talk about decentralization, we don't want the ministry, the president appointing all the superintendents in the country. Why can't the superintendents be elected so they can stand their grounds, raise their money, look for ways to raise money, create their own budget? Even when we talk about public safety, it's the superintendent's responsibility to create public safety. But I can tell you right now, in Luffa County, they had a thing there with the police the other day, and they said there were only 2 police people at the police depot in Vonjima. Are you kidding me? And they both of them got involved with something, and they both of them got arrested. So for that duration of time, nothing happened. So if crime was committed, nobody knew how to tell what a crime was committed, who to report it to. So it is the responsibility of the mayor to make sure all of those things, or the superintendent to make sure all of those things are taken care of. And if they work at the pleasure of the president, they're only waiting for the president to give them directives to start doing something. But they need to be at the table and speak in the interest of the people. They need to have town hall. I don't think any county have had town hall meetings only during election. Like I saw in Nima County today, everybody meeting there, they're doing this. I saw people at Yeka Fokpa, Yeka Koluba in Nima County. Talking about Higuiome from Nima County too. No, seriously. And that's what I'm talking about. He was there, he said, I'm from Nima County. He said, that's what we're talking about. Because the people and everything is centralized in Monrovia. But there has to keep a balance. We have the central government, but things have to be happening in those counties and in those areas. Even in Monrovia, the mayor is appointed by the president, so the mayor can't even raise money. Can't do nothing. Can't set their own budget. They're waiting for the government to set budget for them. So how the government got in the revenue to set the budget for the city of Monrovia or Painesville? No one knows. That's what we're talking about, decentralization. Let the people work. Let the leaders work for the people.
Thank you. Let me come to you, Jerry. I know when Dr. Madi was speaking, and that's very, very concerning, and that's frightening. When Dr. Madi was speaking, you were clapping. They show it might not be my good day for me tonight. But let's hear from you anyway, because are you clapping for Dr. Mali on the show?
Well, that's all right. Sometimes you look. What a tabata.
Then I know my tabata hold tonight. I don't know how I'm going to be able to redeem myself. But let's hear from you, Doc. Let's hear from you, Jerry.
What a tabata. Really? Huh? The local government. Let's look at America for right now. Where we had the federal, the state, and the local. The federal government state dictate to the local government. And say, look,
Ah.
if you hold on. Before you say, the federal government, they say they control the 95 that we own. And they say 95 can be fixed. If you don't do this, we're not going to give you this amount of money. Is that happening? Is Donald Trump threatening the city of Boston right now? Not going to do it. What happening to what is SCUNY or Columbia University? That's a state of it's a private institution run by New York, and say, hey, if you don't do this, we're not going to give you this amount of money. So, look, folks, here we are. It's an implementation. The central government is functioning. It's just that the local government themselves, who the president appointed in the capacity as superintendent, district, whatever, they themselves have to say, I'm here to work for the people. So be very primitive or very naive here and say, oh, yeah, the central government is not working. Central government have been working, and here's the point. Look, let me go to the chairman, the board. When Albert T. White, when he was superintendent for Grand Gila County, look what he did in Zweru. Zweru, he laid out. Okay? Zweru laid out. He was a local government. Look at when Foto Domba, superintendent of Nima County, the first two, these are the two new city, county, Grand Gila, Nima County, and Lofa in the 60s. Look at Ganta. Ganta was the first city that was laid out when Foto Domba was superintendent for Nima County. So it's there for the individual. It's not the central government. When they appointed you to the position, these are the things we need to focus on, rather than say, oh, the central government, we need to get it. The people already had the power. It's just a matter of the stimulation of it.
Thank you. Terry, let's hear from you, my brother, and then we'll go to the doctor later on. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, you see, Dr. Mali and Tour, when the co-host, it's very imperative that we must understand Liberia does not have a decentralized government, even though you want to make it fun. The reason being is just simple. If the president is appointing the superintendent, the blah, 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 and all those kind of things, that means that it's not decentralized. The focus of the government is centralized into one direction. Because the president, according to our constitution, the president appoints, anybody the president appoints works to the will and pleasure of the president. That is not a decentralized. America got a decentralized system, decentralized government. Where
no, they don't have a centralized government. They got a federal government. They got a three-functional government. They got a federal, the state, and the local.
But it's saying that's why
that's the same thing I'm saying. Because you see, that's the same thing in Liberia. We got the central government, we got a local government.
Yeah, but the local government is weak.
Okay, let it, guys, let Terry speak. Let Terry speak.
Most of the
guys, let Terry speak. Terry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Terry, let Terry speak. Go ahead, Terry.
So this why is not you're not compared to America. America got decentralized form of government. The federal government is part of decentralization. But this thing we got is not because everybody is working to the will and caprices of the president. To Dr. Mali, the importance of decentralizing the government helps to minimize corruption. You're just talking about corruption, corruption there, corruption there. I think one of the problems in us not being able to solve our problem that you talk about iron ore taking flight. Iron ores will continue to take flight because the country does not have a decentralized form of government wherein counties can regulate their own affairs and decide what to give central government. Once the county can regulate and say, okay, you know what, the iron ore that are coming from Nima County will get 50%, central government will get 30%, and the other percentage go to whatsoever. That will develop the county. That will also minimize corruption in one segment of government. So by that, everybody will not be complaining on central government that is stealing the corrupt and all of that, because everybody will take responsibility to get involved on the county level to hold the officials accountable. But you don't have that. And that's the reason why corruption continues to escalate in the country, and everybody is focused on central government. That's the form of government we have, wherein the resources of the country just circulate among few set of people, the executive branch, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Rest of the people in the country do not benefit anything from the natural resources, because the direction of the power in the country is directed to central government. And that is what I believe Deborah is trying to talk about. So if we decentralize the government, I believe we will go into a different direction. Equally so, decentralization also can create fragmentation with national power. It also have the defaults as well. If you don't have a real strong democracy, also it can create unpatriotism, where people just decide to say, okay, you know what, like Nima County can say, well, we want to be a county on our own, because we got a lot of resources and the central government is giving us hard time, so we can declare ourselves independent and become a county on our own. So you got to also take into consideration all of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, folks, Samson to Liberal Public Radio. I'm here tonight with Jerry, Mose, Dr. Malley, and Rescue 2 is here again tonight helping us out. Mr. So wanted me to announce that very shortly he will be coming up with a plan for the fundraiser LPR. But since the LPR is paying he used some money as a CEO, I thought that it's his responsibility to carry out the work. The board is not paying him for nothing. Let him do a job, and the board want to make sure. The fact that the board member is announcing it tonight, there's been a pay deduction. Let's make that clear. Again, folks, Samson to Liberal Public Radio. Let's go ahead. Let me come to Dr. Malley. Give me your best shot. You came earlier and you only have one clapping. Let me hear from you. Maybe you will get 2 this time, but let me hear from you.
Well, we continue to focus on the form of governance. I don't think the form of governance has got something to do with development. In Ethiopia have a federal system. Nigeria has a federal system, right? We have a Republican form of government, a parliamentarian form, where the central government dictates the pace. And it's a very good thing. But the central government can never do it when you have what I call organized net of thieves, organized network of thieves. You see, we don't have corruption anymore. We have the corrupt gang now hijacking taxpayer money. Even when the central government decide to send money to Nima County, people fight over it. Your own county, all right? The other tune there is poverty. And poverty is high because illiteracy is dancing around that whole exercise. All right. So what I'm saying, the resources, when you see it going, you want to share tears. The question now is, one day will be other resources. It happened to Nigeria. When they discover the oil, they forget about agriculture. Today, Nigeria has oil in abundance. They stay importing oil. So I think it's the issue of leadership, supported by network of corrupt thieves. And until we can put the network of corruption under control in Liberia, panelists, decentralization, centralization, it's not going to work. The people will still continue to be poor. The decentralization has been there a long time. Go to Nima County. The same old thing. Go to Bassa. The same old thing. You have, in fact, now we have what we call extreme impoverished people in Liberia. And no more poverty. First, the people were poor. But the poverty is now taking another trend now, extreme poverty right now. All right. Yeah, you still get decentralization. You say iron ore coming. The diamond is going. Now they put the diamond from Cape Mount, bombing, rather. Do you know what they do? They put it in a helicopter, take it to Longue Airport, all right, and ship it. And they get your government $12, $13 million, everybody jumping up and down. Really? So until we can really revisit some of these things, the condition will remain like this forever. It being on forever, and we're going to remain forever. And His Excellency came to power. For some of us, he's our president. We thought we were going to see something new, but I'm not seeing anything new. It's the same old playbook. The iron ore was going then. The iron ore, in fact, now, the iron is even going faster than it was going before. And the bucket of the iron ore, it used to be the smaller one. Now they got a jumbo size. It used to be 15. Now it's gone to 65. Can you imagine?
Okay. Well, all right. Okay, guys. Again, I'm going to go ahead and open the line. But while we're going to be waiting for the call, let me first of all open the line. I want to thank all of you again tonight for joining us. We're going to try to make the time here. By 10 o'clock, we'll be out of here. So when we call specific time to wrap, stay within that time limit to wrap. Folks, this is the number 916-533-2048. Moses, yeah, I know we continue to go around. Dr. Malley and Jerry continue to insist that indeed we do have this decentralized type government is already there. Jerry is arguing that all we need to do is to enforce the rule and improve the system. We already have it. Dr. Malley's on the other hand is okay. Let me take the call, please, and we'll come to you, Jerry, please. Caller Samson, what's your name? Where you're coming from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. Tour and the rest of the panel, how you doing?
Thank you.
Mr. Tour, yeah, let me ask you one question for you. I'll just say what I want to say. Who was Tower or Tottenham? No, just it was Tower. You see, I think the Liberian people need to apologize to Tower because it made Tower to look like they were hero. That country was running. Our boy in Nima, the keeper, my father works there as one of the managers. But look how people develop, how people are running smoothly. This company is over there right now, people still living continuum. And when we have to say to go to a local government or decentralize the government, look at the girl in Nima County. Like I just been there for less than 2 years. She have built 2 buildings, she have put 2 in Nima. But because she loves Nima, so she doing the little that she can afford. But other people who do the same thing in their very county as superintendent or as whatever position they hold. But because we don't love that country, all our women wants to go get what we can get and come to America or go to Europe or go wherever we get. We got a second nationality or we live there. Because Liberia, the only country where people take money to come to foreign country. They don't take take money from foreign country to take it to Liberia. So everybody just go there in like a house of ground. So even you people get elected. I agree with you. People get elected. If you're not doing well, you will not get elected for the second time. But that will not change anything. So let the person that already raped, when he get raped and live off it, what difference it makes?
Thank you.
But it kept but look at Kowu. What Kowu have done for Nima. She have built a building in Rena. She building somewhere. All Nimalian representative or senator, it will in Moravia, they will be stopping. You don't have to go be renting, so the money they don't have to be spending that extra money. But we just need to get people that love the country. When we get people that love the country will develop. That's why it's not going to be easy to minimize corruption, but we just need people that love that country. But thank you.
Thank you. Again, Samson too. Folks, the number is out there. Give us a call. 916-533. Let's okay. Another caller coming. Caller, good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Mr. Tom.
I don't even want to tell you, of course, you can't bring my go business in public like this.
That the legacy, that you were talking about that time. They said that you saw the policeman who, you follow the legacy. You too, you follow the legacy of the commissioner from that time.
Yeah, I want to be commissioner because they can kill gold. Yeah, go ahead. But anyway, go ahead, Clarence. Thank you for telling us. Go ahead, let's hear from you.
Thank you for the topic. The topic is discussing tonight is very important for us. Because the fact that the matter, I can remember when Ellen took over newly, they had the phone of the local government, they had a county superintendent, they got a development superintendent, and money was coming, Mr. Toe. But what was happening in between there, that the official was stealing the money and money was not reaching the people. So it's a very good idea if the county, the very local government can take over, they get in their own resources, they can take over their own finances. I think they will do well in their county compared to the central government supervising the entire country. Because people, if you vote somebody, if a person is not doing well, the community or the country can come and say, hey, we'll remove you, or they can petition the government, get them to impeach you. People, the fear will be there, it will be able to work it around according to their people plan. But one of the main reasons I call tonight is to with all the good things that you people continue to appreciate. And like, do we really love ourselves? Do we really love our country? Because the young people that they only brought on board to work along with him, many of them are bringing disgrace to the nation. You listen to the MCSS issue today. One of the superintendents is a guy that came from right here in Philadelphia. And we're talking about most of the green migration go down, like right to the air. Many of these people that go are not going on there. We go out to help the country. But they are only going there to get money and to pay their mortgage abroad and get to loot the country. So it's like with all the good things that you are preaching, we pray that we'll have people getting there with the same mind that they will be able to come together to better the country. Thank you for the show, Minister Toll.
Thank you. Again, folks, Samson told Labra, while we're waiting for the call, let's go back to Moses. Moses, let's hear from you, but just bear in mind that whenever the caller comes in, we will hold you right there.
Yeah.
So go ahead, let's hear from you.
All right, thank you. Again, Jerry kind of inserted the U.S. government and the function of the U.S. government as a way to validate, the responsibility of federalism. But I can tell you something. What is very telling in the United States when they talk about their structure, you see the state of Vermont, for years the state of Vermont has been trying to become independent and not to be affiliated. Recently, what happened? When they started the immigration issue, California said they're not going to coordinate with they're not going to support ICE going on the street and just arresting people in their jurisdiction. They're not going to support that. New Jersey just did the same thing. The state of New Jersey, and said they're going to do everything, and they're not going to even affiliate with the laws that have been broken and not looking at civility. You see, that's what we call independence, challenging. And that's what we call decentralization. You go to any state, you see everybody building their street, their roads, and what happening here is that the government put in so much money for construction and the state put in so much money for construction. I remember when I first came here and told Labor, I think you can attest to it, there were 7 tours from Rhode Island, from Massachusetts to New York City. In 1984, the bridge broke, and the federal government said, you guys reaping, collecting a lot of money, and you are not maintaining the highways, so we have to step in. And those are things that make the central government very important. And that's what we talked about when we talk about keeping the balance. That's what we talk about when we talk about keeping the balance. Because of that bridge disaster, the federal government said Connecticut should remove all the tours, and there's been construction on that road ever since. Ever since. And that's why you don't see tolls in Connecticut right now. Because of that breach breaking, because they were not maintaining the road. It was their responsibility to maintain the road. And how they maintain the road? By collecting taxes from the tolls. Because they don't, most of these states don't have the kind of minimum resources to keep themselves going. So they depend on the people. That's why you got state tax. And I'm in the state where we don't pay taxes. Okay, they say tax free, but there are certain taxes we pay in Delaware. We pay house taxes and county tax and all that stuff to keep the county, the state going. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about decentralization. Give the state, give the counties some independence to do what they do. Should not rely on the government, not only on the central government to give them money, because if they don't give them money, they will not move. And the resources are in those countries. Let them be at the table and negotiate for what percentage they're gonna get and what's gonna benefit the citizens of that county. I think that's what we're talking about.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Jerry. Before that, I will do something here tonight that I normally don't do. And the reason here is that as I am getting ready to talk, to open my mouth here, when I say I'm engaged, I am engaged. I'll just show you small little bit. Back in the days, the government of Tauber, when it came to power newly, they had their hands into most of the um, companies producing for themselves and for the community as well. And after 1980, the neglect. If you were to visit some of the places that I went when I went by, you will feel sad for us. I will just show you a little video of that there tonight. Go ahead, Jerry. Let's hear from you.
Most of just make my case. The federal government had an upper hand to dictate to the local government and say, listen, if you don't do this, this is what you're gonna get. And you do it all the time. The federal government do it. If you don't look, we are responsible for the highway. If the highway passing through your town, if you don't fix a road, and this is not what happened, you're gonna do it. There's a same thing in the central government in Liberia. Look, here's the money coming to the central government. The only thing is the fair distribution of our revenue. That's what it is, or the implementation or the execution. The central government is working effectively. The only thing is to see how best we can hold the people accountable who are in the opposition or who are heading these administrative or subdivision. That's all.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's start the closing process here. But before that, let me share this video here, please, if you don't mind. I'm not going to play all of it. Some places I will go faster because I don't want a particular building to be shown, because I still don't want these people to know that I do have information on them, and so I will fast forward it from time to time. But the reason here is this. The reason why I do this is this. Okay, so the smart people among us will know this area already. But let me go ahead and fast forward. Okay. Okay. Well, if you say so. But let me play this now. Now that it's fast forward. You see this roll? And this is the area that I was involved in trying to do a design for them. And they must have fallen out because of the corrupt behavior. They wanted a certain thing done because they want to kickback. And I'm aware they got kickback, but I have no interest in it. And then they myself fall out. But the point it's not about the kickback, but the point that I want to make here, this road was constructed back in 1973. No,
Okay.
73.
All right.
Okay, 1973. On the left-hand side, you're not seeing it. They used to have pipes that carry water all the way from Beaumont Bridge. That carry water for the company, for the folk
okay.
that was working in that area.
Oh.
Okay, this road go all the way towards how do you call it, towards Carway. Okay, so on the right hand side, the pipe carries this water all the way to Carway area. So, but anyhow, the ice to see if I wanted, they built this place here. It was a swamp area, and they built it over rocks. They have the people. They were ridiculous the way they did it. But the reason I'm showing this, we have people in Liberia, even up to now, that can produce these kinds of stuff. But when they wanted this project, they wanted kickback, and the people who were responsible for the project, they got kickback. And I just say I'm not going to be part of it. So when I come here, I open my mouth, I got something to back it up. So let me take it up because we got into our area again where people will be. So let's start. Huh? I can't hear you, Moses.
I said the place is still the same as you left it.
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah. It's unbelievable. The place, the way the mandate is protecting those buildings. And it's unbelievable. But anyway, let's hear from you, Dr. Marley, since you came late and you and all we're not friends here anyway. So let's hear from you.
Well, I think the whole thing has become a vicious cycle in Liberia. And we thought His Excellency was going to surprise us a little bit, but it's the same old playbook. I did a research. I did a research on the timber organization in Liberia yesterday. I was surprised to have 200 folks doing timber business in the bush, and they get their lay shop in Morovia. And guess who are in our whole business? The Sierra Leoneans, the Nigerian, the Senegalese, the Ivorians. So where is the management? You get the people leaving their country and coming to infringe on our country while our people stay getting poor every day. Where is the management? Where is the leadership? Then on top of that, you get the white skin. Now he doesn't have a lay shop on Broad Street. He got a bucket now. He got a truck. Even the issue of deforestation, where you cut the tree and plant, nobody has time for that. You see, so sometimes when the leadership portray itself before the investor to be so much greedy for money, rather than managing the resources for its own people, the people will play with you. They will get you enough money. The same thing happened in Zimbabwe. There was a company that went to Zimbabwe. They wanted to mine. They wanted to do the coal mine. You know what they got there? They told the government, said, okay, your loyalty here is 12 million annually. Look, I said, okay. Look, I said, okay, but we want to experiment the first 3 months and see what we can do. Then we'll come back now and sign the paper. The government said, okay. The first 3 months, you know how much the guy got, Moses? The guy got $32 million. And out of the $32 million, they took out the government $12 million and gave it to them. You see, I like the white man. He's very smart. He's a good guy. They took out their $12 million for the two and gave it to them 1 cent. They didn't bring it in our country. That is the same thing happening in Liberia right now. All right. So the question now is, where is the leadership? Where is the patriotism?
Thank you.
Our resources are going. Nobody is concerned. Our concern is politics, and politics, the people are busy. That's why I like the Chinese. You don't see them going around throwing bomb. No. When they go visit, they want to know what behind your backyard, and you're sitting and talk about that. How you run your people, how you put them in jail, They're not concerned about all those things.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. We appreciate it. Let's hear from you, Rescue 2.
Well, it was a good show. I think decentralization is a very good thing,
Oh, we'll
and
talk about it again tomorrow. So, folks, be ready to have that conversation continue. Let's go ahead,
yeah,
Derek.
and I think Liberia is now working in that line. If we can strengthen it, it will be fine. I think America is a country who's following in line with that. Most of the states run their own affairs, even though they have a federal government with three branches and all that. But they're strong when it comes to the decentralization status that they have. But however, Labor, my attention is actually June to the elections going on in Lima County, and there's a huge twist and turn. People jumping here and there, and my only fear is that again we're gonna have another leader in the House of Senate that is totally not in the interest of the Liberian people, and that is where my concern was June to. Because of what I'm seeing in Lima County, I think that the election is going to go the way of Koga. And that would be sad for our country because I don't see the legacy. Most of our leaders in the House there, in the Senate and representative, they are not lawyers, and we call them lawmakers. So I don't know where we took the name lawmaker from when these people are not lawyers. So as a result, they make laws that they don't understand, and they don't for 6 years or for 12 years. What were the laws that these people already made that were in the interest of the Liberian people? But we call them lawmakers, and most of them are not lawyers. Like the code of conduct, people are talking all over the place today. Code of conduct. Most of the thing about the code of conduct, there are a lot of ambiguities. We've been having a constitution for over 45 years. I don't know how many years the constitution was in existence for. I know since the late Doe. Why can't we think about revising the constitution? What are our lawmakers doing? Because we have people in the House that are not lawyers, and because of that, they are not making laws in favor of the people. And when there is no law that governs the people in the right trajectory, the country remains the same. And those things that we're talking about, like Dr. Mali talked about, the concession agreement, all those things are laws that those lawmakers enact into law. And once it is not done properly, the country suffers. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Mosey, and then Jerry will take us home. Please make it brief so that we'll get out here on time, folks. Go ahead.
Well, thank
Mosey,
you
are
for
you there?
the conversation. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
I said thanks for the conversation.
Internet is
to be continued tomorrow, but I stand by that we need to decentralize in Liberia so that people can be held accountable locally and be accountable to the people that they served. Because, most of the things that are going on there is just pathetic. When people think that it can go in, and we talk about, and Terry, talked about the election process and who going to be called lawmakers. And I know you, Mr. Toe, and myself were around back in the day. Most of the people who were elected are representatives and senators from the new counties were not really educated people. Most of those folks, they didn't know how to make laws and all. And that thing had been perpetuated over a long period of time. Today we find people who don't even understand what the issue of making law means. And if you tell them to draft anything that they will present to pass into Congress or to argue a referendum, somebody don't even know that. Somebody don't even know it. And it's all about how much they can make, their budget time, some of the folks, not everybody. And the concession thing, everyone of them want to be part of the concession. And so they want to go to the county. And there's been widespread thing about, senators and representatives going and signing concessions with these people and taking kickbacks. And then they sit there and they say, oh no, we did this, we did that, and nothing back to the people. That's what we talk about. This. Okay, so we'll continue and see what we can.
Thank you. Thank you, Moses. We appreciate it. Let's hear from you, Jerry. Take us home.
You see, look, in order for us to do it, we have to sit and look at where we are and know where we're going. I want you to go tonight, look at the man who saw Liberia 100 and some more years ago, bloody. Go listen to his speech. The same thing we're talking here, he talked about it about 100 and some more years ago. Listen to Marvin Gavin when he went to Liberia, he spoke. Eloquently, the same thing we're talking here. He talked about it. The central government and the decentralization, all these things. So about 100 and some more years ago, these things I've been talking about. But here's the point that I'm making here tonight. My point is the central government is functionable. All we need to do is to extend it, to modernize it, to meet the need of the people. That's what we are. What has been neglected by the people, that's a question we need to ask ourselves to make sure that it is functioning. I went to public school way in the interior before I came to Montreal to go to school, to finish my high school. So it was run by the central government that was running the elementary school. When I was going to school, the central government, we had care food that was given to us to eat. It was the same central government that was doing it. So the central government have functioned. It have been functioning for time. It just need catch up to make work to the people. That's all.
Thank you. Again, I want to thank all of you again tonight for your contribution here. Jerry, Moses, Dr. Bradley, and Rescue 2, Terry Collins. Thank you guys very much. Please join me again tomorrow as this conversation will continue.
There's a guy from CDC, and they call him, I think, Avin Wisse. He said, Tabula Rasa Buganies.
I listen to you. I don't know what that word means.
I'm still looking for that word. I'm still looking for it. Tabula Rasa Buganies. So,
whatever they got. But I want to thank you guys. Please join me tomorrow. The conversation, hopefully. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully, we'll try to, as we discuss these issues, let us come out to find solution that perhaps as we bring out about these things, let's find solution about what we need to do. I want to thank all of you again. Dr. Malley, thank you. And we'll say good night. Terry as well. Good night. Mose, good night. And of course, Jerry, good night as well. Thank you very much. Again, folks, Samson told Labrador Public Radio. That's how we're going to end it tonight. We say thank you very much. Join us tomorrow again as we discuss this decentralization of the Republic of Liberia. Why is it that we are not getting somewhere? We're stuck in a specific area. So join me tomorrow as we bring the Fatima. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Breakable, thank you guys. And I'll see you will be on Wednesday, where he will continue to expand on this idea of this fundraiser that he's trying to put together. He's the organizer, and he has the final word on that. I want to thank all of you again for following tonight. Thank you. Let's continue to pray for one another, and let's make sure that Liberia is succeed, because if we all pray and ready to build, Liberia will be successful. Good night, folks.
Maman a de la IPCA, le maquis chez AD, la plus belle. Tout qui est d'Ali, oh Dieu Seigneur, à ce moment ça. Rachel de Kibo, chez AD. Oh, abonnez-vous, Gogo, Nyaliwa, Bagnon, Nyaliwa, Korapam. Stefan Soko, Stefan Soko. Oya for bravo. Aya. Godo nyaliba. Ama na very kasawa. Ama America very titi papa very sa. Ayo you get banyo. You secret am pa. Sisi la play. Oya la godo nyali. Are banyo e for bravo. Hey. Awo. Taba señor wo arena velini baka. Taba señor wo arena velini. Waya. Ale na yu ya koro bravo. Abrile godo nyali. Yo so ma de jogure. Pablo ayo. Ade wa ba bere wa sabake. Wa ba bere. Apawo ma pa ni. Ama Ababa Mabali Abara Suba Gula Bayo Abuna Nika Valley Papa Atanubo Ababa Mabali Ana Mabali Bayi Baba Mabali Nia Gigi Dalio